streak. Wake at home, undefeated this season. The Deacs have won 41 of their last 46 at the Joel, and it's Louisville who controls the opening tip.
We're finally getting the motorcycle smell away from us now.
Inhale the fumes, Josh. Huntley Hatfield setting the high screen for Sky Clark. And the rebound pulled in by Hunter Sallis. Starting lineups for Wake Forest. Hoopy Miller, the Central Michigan transfer, the team's leading scorer. Cam Hildreth, who has it now in a bit of a shooting slump. And I told you about Carr, the career-high 28 last time out.
A big key is going to be the start that Louisville gets. The issue with Louisville has been their starts in those segments. They cannot get down against Wake because Wake can score a bunch in a hurry.
Wake's leading the conference in league games in scoring, three-point shooting, and field goal percentage, free throw percentage. Carr guarded by Zan Payne. That's the son of Louisville head coach Kenny Payne. Sallis lines up a three, and it's good.
You know, we talked about that to Coach Payne in the pregame, just about, again, the start, and a lot of it's just some breakdowns defensively. They can't afford that, and then Wake gets a great start right there. If I'm Coach Forbes, I love that first three to be able to get us going and get our confidence going.
Tre White back in the starting lineup. He was hurt, came off the bench the last couple of games. Mike James shooting 56% from three in league play. And then Huntley Hatfield, the Tennessee transfer, 4 double-doubles on the season.
Did you see there now Wake Forest doubled quickly onto the double there. Andrew Carr came and they called a monster. A lot of times on the double team, big to big, they call it a monster, and that's what they did. They're going to quickly double on Huntley Hatfield all game long.
He's been averaging almost a double-double over his last 8 games. From the corner, that one goes. That's Tre White, one of the most coveted transfers in the portal in the offseason.
And going back to Huntley Hatfield, I think he's accepted his role. He's really tried to do his damage down by the block, and which has made Louisville a better team.
We'll get Sky Clark with a reach-in. Second team foul on Louisville. Now, to your point, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, who came over from Tennessee, last 8 games, he's been a double-double guy in a league with a lot of good big men. He's become one of them.
Yeah, and that's what Louisville needs. And I thought earlier in the year he was playing too much, trying to force things on outside the paint. He's really bought in about being by the paint and doing his dirty work by the block.
Offensive rebound off the tip. Here comes Hildreth. Just 6 of his last 24, make it 25. And the loose ball, Hildreth gathers, looking for help. Good ball movement. Carr lines it up. Doesn't go, and the rebound to James.
Those 50-50 balls underneath there, Wake Forest was able to come up with that. They were lucky, Louisville, because Carr got a great look in the corner 3. Those are backbreakers if he makes it, but credit to Louisville to come up with the stop. So much of in transition. Transition defense is going to be a big deal for Louisville today.
How about Carr showing off the shakes?
Finishing off where he came from NC State on Wednesday night. Look, the biggest thing for Wake, because of their perimeter players, you put so much emphasis and focus on it, you can lose a guy like Carr who has the ability to score.
Well, he knows he's got the mismatch there. Zan Payne doesn't play a whole lot, making his first start of the season. Here comes Hildreth, blocked at the rim. That's Tre White. James the other way, pulls from the baseline and hits.
That's where Wake is at his best in offensive transition. Huntley Hatfield with a great shot block, but then Louisville gave Wake kind of a taste of their own medicine in offensive transition with the great pull-up there by James.
Afton Reed, the Gonzaga transfer, was setting the screen. Carr wants it down low.
As you said, he recognizes the matchup, as does Wake, but are they going to try to force feed it in there to get him the ball? Louisville's done a nice job defensively.
Shot clock down to 2. Carr puts it up. Front rim.
They really want to get Carr more by the block, where that's really more of the matchup advantage he has, more so than on the three-point line against Payne.
I never could quite get it to him down low.
Louisville did a nice job squeezing the paint.
High arcing shot, no good by Clark. Hunter Sallis, the Gonzaga transfer. That's a three. It's his second three, and it's 8-4 Wake.
Anish, again, it's offensive transition. It's breakdown offense. It goes from a missed shot to the way they're getting back. Louisville has got to build the wall quicker and stop the ball higher.
You're seeing Wake trying to do that here. Boopie Miller coming out to the logo to press Clark. James around Hildreth. Boy, he has been playing extremely well of late. Did have a little bit of an off night against North Carolina. Prior 3 games, averaging 23 per contest.
You know, sometimes the mid-range shot, that elbow shot, people say either a 3 or layup, but James is a really good 15, 16-foot pull-up jump shooter. You've got to let him take it. He's making it.
This guy's pretty good at that too, Hunter Sallis, and I think he's got something to prove. The end of that NC State game Tuesday, picked up 2 questionable technicals, especially the second one. He was ejected from the game. It really changed the final moments of that game. NC State went on to win a game that they had trailed most of the way. And for Steve Forbes, you've been in this spot. You don't want the ending of that game to beat you twice.
No, and you can see James there, again, from Louisville, another great pull-up. But you're right. I thought in the second half for NC State on Tuesday, they lost their composure. The first half, they were so good, and then the second half, they didn't play well. They didn't play together. Hildreth didn't have a good game at all, and they lost their composure. Sallis did, and then, as you mentioned, I think he wants to prove something that I can bounce back from a tough game and what happened on Tuesday night.
Curtis Williams getting ready to check in for Louisville. He's been playing well of late. Efton Reed guarding Huntley Hatfield, and he'll give him that shot.
And if you notice, Carr was about to come on the monster or the double, but he waited because Huntley Hatfield was too far off the block. He was waiting for him to take another dribble closer to the paint.
Hildreth for 3. He had been 1 for his previous 10 from beyond the arc, looking to shake off his 2 lowest scoring games of the season.
And as you mentioned, Sallis wanted making a point for this game. Hildreth the same thing, because he did not play well against NC State, and Wake needs Hildreth to play really well. Even more than just scoring, just his toughness, other things that he does that doesn't always show up in the box score.
White over the big Efton Reed for the bucket.
When you're playing against Efton Reed, who's one of the best shot blockers in the country, you have to be so good in the paint on how you're playing off the box and at the rim, based on his shot blocking ability. That's going to be a thing to really watch this afternoon on those drives against Reed.
He got into foul trouble against NC State as Boopie Miller sinks the 3. And we saw the Wolfpack just take the ball to the basket almost at will. 50 points in the paint in that game.
Well, that's been a thing with Wake. They can't afford Carr and Reed to get in foul trouble. They've had foul trouble issues. And I think part of the thing there with the double, there you see the points in the paint again. That's when the thing with Huntley Hatfield, I think Wake's thinking is let's double so keeping Reed out of foul trouble. But you're right, North Carolina State really tore him up in the paint.
Efton Reed will try the 3. That one doesn't go. 3 for 13 now from deep on the season. Again inside to Brandon Huntley Hatfield. There's your monster double. He's got to get rid of it. Got away with the skip. Good recovery by Wake. James in traffic. Reed snags the board.
And Coach Forbes knows this. Like, they need Reed on the floor to win, and to protect his foul issues, let's double. And right now it's been effective.
When I talked to Steve Forbes yesterday, he said the message to Reed was simple. Basically what you said, stay on the court, avoid the silly fouls. And he picked up a couple of silly ones early on Tuesday.
You know, right now, Louisville's had a good start. They've made some good shots. They're hanging around. They've had a good start, which is obviously a big emphasis for Coach Payne.
You got to think teams are getting tired. We're past the under 16. We're past the under 12. We've yet to have a media timeout. Haven't had the whistle.
These are young guys. They can play 20 straight minutes without a break. These are young guys. They can handle it. You've got to be in great shape and great cardiovascular condition to be a great basketball player. These guys have it.
We have blown through 2 media timeouts, just have not had the whistle.
The refs are letting them play, and it's been a clean game right now. It's been a good basketball, good clean game by both teams.
Tre White hits the jumper. So you know the whistle's coming when the refs need a breather.
Yeah, well, these guys know it. But here's the thing. Both teams right now, you can see they're kind of huffing and puffing, but so much of it about basketball, to be an elite player, you have to be in great cardiovascular shape. And right now, I think both these teams look like they're in good condition, and it's been clean.
Good ball rotation. Sallis, his third triple. He's got 11 already.
We might get to the third timeout before there's a...
We might get to the under 8 without our first whistle.
But again, really good ball movement. That's what second half versus NC State, Wake didn't have good ball movement. That was great. Extra one more.
And there's the whistle. There's the breather. There's oxygen.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see right there, everyone's getting there, got a chance to catch their breath, but you can see here the extra ball movement, the one more pass to the corner for Sallis, and nothing but bottom of the net.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes. 3 of the last 8 NCAA championships. 99 NCAA tournament wins since 2015. 8 NCAA titles in the last 22 years. 6 of the top 30 winningest programs in Division I, most of any conference. It's not bragging if it's true. Greatness is what we do. The ACC, accomplished greatness.
I love to pick up the tab for my buds at B-Dubs for BOGO Boneless Thursdays. I don't tell them about the deal, though. I want them to think I'm rich. Like, Hank's been horseback riding twice. Rich. It's a status thing. Horses.
Neither snow-capped mountains nor puddles of water, nor unexpected detours with a 20-foot drainage pipe can stop the ruggedly capable Telluride X Pro from getting you to your dinner reservation on time.
Okay.
Kia, movement that inspires.
With instant alerts at Apartments.com, you'll never miss out on finding your perfect place.
Being here for you guys has...
Oh, it's so spacious. My love for your together.
Apartments.com.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Now, you live a life where fresh milk is always on hand. DoorDash.
The all-new Pizza Hut $7 Deal Lovers menu. Because it's only a deal if you love it.
Toxic therapy from your vape.
Nobody's texting back.
Let's jump to conclusions.
They're all hanging out?
Mm-hmm.
Without me?
Exactly. Stay with that.
Vaping nicotine can intensify feelings of anxiety. Find solutions at thetruth.com.
Kenny Payne in his second season as Louisville's head coach, and season 1 was a rough one. They go 4-28 last year. Non-conference was bumpy. You look at the league record, 1-5. They had the road win against Miami. But then when you talk to all the coaches in the league, they say, listen, we know what their record is. They're playing better. This is an improved team. What's different?
Yeah, they're playing much better. They're improved. It's hard when you can't score. And the reason they're improving is they're scoring better. You look in the last 4 games, they've shot 36 from 77 from three-point range, which is almost 47%. In conference play, they're shooting almost 40% from 3. The bottom line is they're just shooting the ball better, which when you score more and you're scoring at an easier rate, things look better. And that's been the biggest improvement of why they're playing better at this time. But, you know, they still need to stop those margins where they have those 3-4 minute stretches where they go scoreless.
Tre White makes the first free throw, and that triggers the under 12 media timeout. We blew through the under 16, the under 12, just making up for lost time, folks.
No fees or minimums and no overdraft fees are another reason banking with Capital One is an even easier decision than this.
I'll take Barkley.
Yes! Yep, even easier than that. What's in your wallet?
Want to get the most out of one sheet? Grab Bounty. Bounty is made to be stronger and more absorbent. So while ordinary brands can't hold up, one sheet of Bounty keeps working even when wet. Now that's the sound of value. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Here at Papa John's, we know our stuff.
We know how to hand stuff our crust with more flavors than anyone else.
Like the blend of garlic herb ricotta and mozzarella in our new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza. We're talking the flavors of your favorite calzone, now stuffed right into the crust of your pizza.
I mean, no one stuffs a crust like Papa John's.
Get a new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza for a limited time, only at Papa John's.
The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Clark, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty.
Amor magic.
Something brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Red Bull gives you wings. Our crew services cars from bumper to bumper.
Oil change, tire rotations, repairs.
I could get used to late nights dancing.
¿Están disfrutando Spectrum TV?
Claro, con mi plan latino tenemos la mejor selección de canales en español e inglés.
Y con Spectrum Internet tienen una conexión fluida.
Obtén Spectrum y Plan Latino TV por $39.99 al mes y Spectrum Internet de 300 megas por $49.99 al mes.
You're ready for a comeback. It's not just a job. It's transferable college credit. And
Hey, Kevin. Good luck.
And nothing can stop you. Not even this tiny break room. Start your comeback at Purdue's online university for working adults. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
Denise Schroff, Josh Pastner for a Wake team looking to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017. They've had reinforcements. In non-conference, they got Efton Reed, who was deemed eligible today. It's the first game since February 22nd of last year for Damari Monsanto. He had been out with a injured left patella tendon, tore it last year. A season ago, 13 points per game and one of the very best three-point shooters in the ACC. He's on a pitch count. About 10 minutes today, you'll see him. If he can become a factor down the stretch, boy, it gives this team another offensive weapon.
Yeah, his ability to shoot the ball and stretch the defense, people gravitate towards him. I mean, the amount of gravity that he pulls, he's a big weapon for Wake Forest to have. Now, it'll be interesting to see, can he really get his rhythm back? And it's been over a year since he's played.
Parker Fredrickson has been the sniper off the bench with Monsanto hurt. He's a freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma.
The one thing about Wake is that they are such a good three-point shooting team and they got so many weapons. You've got to really take the three out against them. And with these guys coming in, there's no drop-off from three-point line.
Foul away from the ball on Hersey Miller.
Just coming off of a screen there. That's just a basketball play, just a bump. But you saw the last time Louisville came out of that timeout after the free throw in that 2-2-1 press to try to slow Wake down.
Well, now if you're Louisville, defensively, you've got to be aware of how Wake can spread the floor. You've got Fredrickson, you've got Monsanto. That creates space for someone like Sallis.
Yeah, and just the spacing, it stretches everything, and here he goes.
Monsanto hits the three, his first shot, his first basket of the season, and this Demon Deacon crowd loves it.
If I'm Coach Forbes, I'm really excited about that, and if I'm Coach Payne, you're a little bit in danger zone right now in the stretches that we talked about. They got to be really careful on this in these next 60 seconds to 90 seconds on how they keep it within single digits.
Curtis Williams can't answer. Rebound Monsanto. Wake 7 for 12 from 3 through the first 11 minutes of this half. Fredrickson make it 8 of 13. And Kenny Payne wants a timeout. This is that danger zone moment you talked about.
Absolutely, they got to be real careful. Out of this timeout, it's going to be a big deal for Louisville to make sure they draw something up to get a basket.
Hey, I think I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is not just medicine. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Well, Steve Forbes, now in season number 4 here at Wake Forest. A couple years ago, they win 13 games in the conference.
Yeah,
can't get to the NCAA tournament.
He's done an outstanding job. He's an outstanding basketball coach. They should have been in the tournament a couple years ago, and so instead of the last time they were in was 2017, it should have been whatever it was, 21 or whatever that was, but 22. But they're really, really good. His teams play hard. Here's the other thing: they get those great transfers, and he's a magician to be able to get them to play so well together.
That's Caleb Glenn, the freshman for the Hammer.
Yeah, and great call by Kenny Payne out of the timeout. They needed to score to stop the bleeding. That's been an issue with Louisville. The amount of shooters that Wake can put on the floor, when you're talking about spacing, with all these shooters on the floor, it's almost 5 out.
It is 5 out, and you saw Sallis took it to the basket, wanted the foul, didn't get the call. Tyler Johnson, the freshman point guard in there for Louisville, almost has it poked away. James over Hildreth, too strong. Brandon Huntley Hatfield on the putback. He's got an advantage against Keller inside.
And this is the deal where Louisville, they scored 4 consecutive points now. This is about stopping that bleeding, and they've done that right now with back-to-back baskets and a good timeout call previously by Coach Payne out of the ATO.
Keller, he can knock down that shot, raises the rim. We saw it against North Carolina the other night. Louisville dug themselves into a big hole, got back to within 5, just didn't have enough to finish.
It's go time at South Charlotte Hyundai. During our model year-end sales event, every new 2023 model must go. Shop our inventory and get financing as low as 0% plus no payments till January 2024. Lease the 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe for just $289 a month for 36 months. Get America's best warranty on all new vehicles plus our lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. But to get our 2023 models, you have to go to the model year-end sales event at South Charlotte Hyundai.
The competition's never been better. I would never let a woman do that. The stars have never been brighter.
Andrew Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. A-more magic. Some brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Hockey stars will shine brightest in Toronto.
The 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend, February 2nd and 3rd on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN+.
Curly fire up in my chest, got soft skin, hard feelings. Give a damn, then give a reason. Pops it, top billing, been a feeling, been a feeling.
I'm shooting threes and I'm slam on them. Slam.
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open. Woo!
NBA Wednesday on ABC, home.
Wake averages 8.5 3-pointers made per game, already at 8 with 7.5 to go in the first half.
What's the point of shooting twos if you can make all these threes? But the ball movement has been outstanding by Wake. Here's the thing, 7 assists on 10 made field goals. They're not making any twos, really. It's all been threes, and the gravity, because of the amount of shooters they have on the floor, and they're finding the open man. I thought the second half versus NC State, they did not find the open guy. The open man, sort of the go-to man, they did not do that in the second half versus NC State. Right now, the ball has great movement, energy, and rhythm, and that's why they got 7 assists on 10 made field goals.
Wake, weirdly, 8 of 14 from 3, just 2 of 7 from inside the arc.
Good decision by Coach Payne to go right back into Huntley Hatfield, but you can see the monster, the double they came to get it quickly out of his hands. Good game plan by Coach Forbes.
Caleb Glenn meeting resistance.
If you notice that they had Keller in to be 5 out with 5 shooters. He missed the 3. Coach Forbes says out, Reed back in.
I got Reed and Carr back in. Frederickson, the only non-starter into the game for Wake. Sallis, the cutter. Carr from the corner. And how about Johnson getting the rebound over Reed, and they'll get Reed with the foul, and those are the fouls Steve Forbes does not want Efton Reed to pick up.
His positioning there on the offensive rebound, he was behind it. He didn't get foot advantage, kind of the terminology slice advantage, where you're wedging the guy. He didn't get there, and then Johnson was able to get there defensively, sticking his nose in there, guard rebounding. Good play there for Louisville to continue to try to cut into the lead.
Pull up by Tyler Johnson, a top 100 freshman. And he's got 2 shots coming. Frederickson picks up his first foul.
That defensive guard rebound, sticking his nose in there by Johnson, those are the plays that help you win, because then you get an extra possession here offensively coming down this direction, and you get fouled, so you get 2 shots. Those are the plays that they got to continue to have, and they've winning those 50-50 balls, those loose balls. Those are big plays in order to have a chance to win.
Featured ESPN women's basketball matchup for tomorrow afternoon is LSU, the number 10 team in the country, against Arkansas. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern on ESPN. Do you have any sequin blazers like Kim Mulkey?
She's a much better dresser than I am. In fact, I saw her the other night, or I think last night, she was wearing like a tiger on her sweater. I'm not as cool of a dresser as she is, that's for certain.
Frederickson with the 3, the sharpshooter from Oklahoma. Almost 95% of his shots this year are threes.
They got Carr into the post. Louisville came for a double, and really good pass out and recognition by Carr, and he threw a strike. It wasn't a high or a low pass. It was directly into the shooter's pocket, and nothing but a 3 for Frederickson.
Huntley Hatfield against Reed, who's got the foul, and it's knocked out of bounds.
Really good fundamental defense by Reed there, not to go for the shot block. You can see he stays down. He usually is going for the shot fakes. Look at his walling up to stay down, did not go for any shot fakes, and that allowed him not to pick up his second foul.
The NCAA ruled him eligible before the game against Rutgers. He had a double-double in that first game, and Steve Forbes said afterwards he raises the ceiling for this entire season. And there's times when you watch Wake Forest with Efton Reed in the lineup, they look like a Sweet 16 team.
Well, he's a difference maker, and they won 9 straight with them. And look, if you notice right there on the drive and the kick to Huntley Hatfield, Reed was out of position. Smart decision by him not picking up that foul, because as you mentioned, they need him in the game. They are so much better with him on the floor.
Carr able to draw the foul on Glenn.
Right now, whether it was starting with Payne on Carr or Glenn on Carr, they are really trying to attack that matchup in the block from Wake onto Louisville. That's a mismatch that Wake is trying to take advantage of, and Carr just needs to keep hanging down there, because the more he drifts out, you kind of give Louisville that opportunity to take away that mismatch.
The danger is you send help for Carr, you got Efton Reed down low. Who are you helping off?
And you have great shooters all over the floor just on the perimeter, so it's a hard situation to be in. You got to kind of pick your poison on that.
Got to find the Josh Pastner funhouse with trick mirrors.
You got to do some zone here, some zone there, some junk defense there to kind of mix it up a little bit, I guess. That's just what makes Wake so good, is there are so many offensive weapons. You just can't take out one guy.
You know, lots made. They don't get a whole lot from their bench as Johnson misfires. Their starting five is so good. And those are the guys that Steve Forbes is going to rely on to score. And if you get a guy like Monsanto, or if Fredrickson's hitting shots, well, there's your bench production. Yeah. Reed almost lost it. Four shooters flanking Reed right now. Miller on the drive, too much dribbling, and it's going to be out of bounds, but last touch Louisville, 5 to shoot.
5 seconds on the shot clock, late clock. Wake Forest, Steve Forbes, really good in base out of bounds, late clock actions.
Here's Carr using the shot fake. Sets and hits.
Three-point shooting is such a difference maker in the game of basketball. And when you have a guy like Carr who's 6'10", I mean, he's 6'10", and he's such a good shooter, it just makes such a difference for your team.
Wake has 10 threes in this opening half. White banging against Hildreth and gets the bounce.
Hildreth is a really good defender. He uses his chest, tough hard nose. He's fortunate that he didn't get an and one there, because he did get lifted on the shot fake. Good basket there. Again, you're right in that double digit. Louisville's got to keep it in single digits going to halftime. These possessions are humongous for Louisville.
Reed, the face-up jumper.
If I'm Coach Payne, I'm living with that shot. I'd rather him shoot that than the way they're shooting the three.
And an offensive foul. It's going to be an illegal screen against Glenn. Andrew Carr picking up where he left off Tuesday when he had a career-high 28.
Bravo! You use the Quicksilver card from Capital One with no annual fee and unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, every way. That makes you the hero of every purchase. What's in your wallet?
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes.
What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me, do this.
The competition's never been better.
Have you never let a woman do that?
The stars have never been brighter.
Andrew Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty.
A-more magic.
Some brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
courtside, watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
Watch me, do this.
Hockey stars will shine brightest in Toronto.
The 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend, February 2nd and 3rd on ESPN, ABC.
Almost 80% of Wake's points have come from beyond the arc.
You know what? And coming in this game, they were in conference play. They were about under 50% on made field goals assisted. So this is just the way they're playing right now. I think the team has got their message from Coach Forbes about ball movement, rhythm, flow, energy. Do not let that ball stick. It's almost being like a hot stove, a hot potato. You touch it, you move it, and that's kind of how they played it. They've gotten great looks. They haven't been forced shots. They've really moved the ball, and they got no turnovers. That's the second thing. When you're moving the ball like that and you're not turning it over, that's why they're making these threes and getting great looks.
9 assists, 0 turnovers for Wake. These last 3.5 minutes feel critical for Louisville.
Critical is probably an understatement. It could make or break the game for Louisville, and this is where they've had some issues. They need to find a way to keep in single digits going into halftime. If this starts getting into 15, 16, 17, what happens at halftime, these guys are still human beings. You lose that energy, and you can come in there and rah-rah and fire them up. But, you know, it's happened so many times. It's like, oh, here we go again. This 325, and it's just going to be just critical for Louisville to try to hang and stay involved in the game.
Yeah, their leading scorer, Sky Clark, just went to the bench with 2 fouls. And that's the first turnover of the game for Wake.
And if I'm Coach Forbes, I'm disgusted because we've got him right on the ropes, ready to bury him, and we, instead of having a shot at the rim, we give it away by an unforced error.
Louisville does not have a three-point basket in this half. Attacking the paint. Johnson feathers it, and a rebound by Reed.
If you notice, Johnson hesitated for a split second because he saw Reed. Just Reed's presence made him think for a quick second. Being able to play at the blocks and in the paints against Reed is so important for Louisville offensively.
Sallis, a game-high 11. He launches. And the rebound by Tre White.
That wasn't their best of a three that they've had this half.
Johnson on the drive. And a nice drop off to Brandon Huntley-Hatfield.
That's what Louisville needs to do. Downhill drives, get to the paint, make Reed have to make a decision. He attacks, got it to Huntley-Hatfield, and gets the basket.
How about Boopy Miller? He's so good off the bounce.
Same thing like we talked about James earlier from Louisville about his mid-range game. Boopy Miller is able to play in that mid-range game as well, too. It's not just 3 and layups with him. He can play at that mid-range 15, 16, 17 feet, 13, 12 feet as well.
James attacking the paint over Reed, who didn't want to pick up that second foul.
It's in his mind, Reed. I've got to be careful. I think he's got Coach Forbes' message. Stay on the floor, just your presence alone, but really good vertically and violently attack by James at the rim.
Ten to shoot. 90 seconds to go, opening half. Miller against Johnson. Drive, kick, Hildreth. It's batted out by Reed, and we get a whistle underneath. It's going to be against Louisville.
If you notice there on Boopy Miller on the drive, because of the shooters, and he had Hildreth to his left, well, James was guarding Hildreth, and James came over. He started out in the positioning, but as the drive came, he then came in, which allowed Hildreth for the open three. They were fortunate he didn't get that look, but that's the gravity that Miller has. Because not only can he shoot the three, he's really good at driving and getting to the paint.
Efton Reed, a terrific free throw shooter, now 19 out of 22 on the season.
That's a great advantage to have when you're starting 7-footer center can shoot free throws like this.
Yeah, he's been a game changer. Came over from Gonzaga.
When you shoot free throws like that, you can have him in at the end of the game in close game situations and get him the ball in a press break situation.
Yeah, Wake is one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. James out of control. Here comes Wake Forest. Boopy Miller leading the break. Attacking Johnson. And Boopy to the free throw line where he's made 27 in a row.
Again, offensive transition. Wake is as good as any team in the country when they get going in offensive transition. They get a defensive stop, and then they're off to the races, and they're hard to stop in defensive transition when you are not back and set and building a wall. They got so many weapons all over the floor.
NFL playoffs divisional round. It starts today in Baltimore. The Texans, led by their rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, will take on former Louisville Cardinal Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I got Lamar as my MVP.
He's had an incredible year, and what an incredible player story, how he has, talk about even have an agent. I mean, it's been incredible. And he
bet on himself.
And he bet on himself, and it's worked out. I was rooting for him, and I agree. I do think he's the MVP. That's going to be a great game today, by the way. Two really good quarterbacks.
C.J. Stroud put together one of the best rookie seasons of all time. Another foul here. This one is on Miller. 2 free throws coming for Louisville.
So right now you're you're down 14 with, and Wake can play 2 for 1 depending on what they want to do. So look, it doesn't look like Louisville is going to get it within single digits going into half. But even just if they can keep it around 12 or so, but they're going to have to make free throws to do that, you just don't want to start getting 15 or above going into halftime based on what's happened to Louisville all in the past.
They've been showing some fight. You can go to the UNC game on Wednesday. They were down 17 at halftime. Cut the lead to 5 a couple of times in the second half, but then ran out of gas. North Carolina pulled away. This time, Boopy Miller blows by the defense. The lead is 15. About a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock, and Boopy Miller just picked up his second foul.
2 things there. Wake wanted to go for a 2 for 1. You see they just pushed it hard up the floor, got a quick basket. Coach Forbes tried to call timeout. Mark Schnurr, the referee, did not see him, so they didn't get the timeout. He wanted to get his defense set up because he wanted that 2 for 1, didn't get the timeout, which then allowed Miller to get his second foul. I think he wanted to get Miller out of the game initially on that timeout, but they didn't give it to him.
6th team foul on Wake. Next one would put Louisville in the bonus. Nice move by Tre White on the inside. And now Wake can hold for 1. Steve Forbes has the lose it or use it timeout. He's not going to use it.
He's not going to let Louisville get set up into their defense. Big possession defensively for Louisville right here going into half.
Sallis got Huntley Hatfield in the air and knocks down the J as time expires. That caps a 13-point first half for Hunter Sallis.
Yeah, actually it was good defense, better offense. When you're making threes like Wake is and you're guarding the 3 like Wake is, that's a recipe for success.
Boopy Miller, and that's rebounded by Brandon Huntley Hatfield. 8 points, 3 rebounds for the former Tennessee Vol.
The start for Louisville here is going to really be everything these first minute or 2, just to make sure they don't get themselves dug too deep of a hole where they can't come back out of.
They get an offensive foul on Huntley Hatfield, his second. Not the way you want to start if you're the Cards.
No, actually that's their second time he's been called on a moving screen, not having it set. When you set a screen, you've got to be shoulder width apart, and you've got to give the defense a full second before you can set the screen on the contact.
Both teams have their original starting 5, and that means Zan Payne is in there. Andrew Carr wants it down low. He likes that matchup. Let's see if Louisville helps. Carr backs down Payne. It was good defense by Payne.
And Louisville was probably saying, hey, let him play in the 2. We've got to stay at home and take out the 3. We have to guard the 3. We can't overhelp anywhere on the floor. Long 2 goes by Tre White. Remember against Carolina on Tuesday or Wednesday, Louisville was down 17 at the half, trimmed the lead to 5 as Cam Hildreth gets inside. They did trim the lead, and they did a good job on that. But you see right there in transition offense, after a made basket, how fast Wake flew it up the floor. And they got a quick basket. Louisville did not get their transition defense set. They've got to be better in transition defense.
Mike James draws the foul on Reed.
But you can see here the speed after a made basket. It wasn't even a miss. They're so good in offensive transition. And then on the other end here, Reed got his foul. If you notice, he got lifted. Second foul, he went for the shot fake. He really goes for a lot of the shot fakes. And early in the first half, he was really doing a nice job of staying down. But he got lifted there, and the refs called him for a second foul.
If you're in Kenny Payne's shoes, what's your message to your team going into the second half?
Well, I think number one is we got to guard the three guys. We've got to find a way, even if it maybe is not within our principles defensively in the half court, we're going to have to stretch out more. We can't overhelp. We have to take the three out. And then secondly, we've got to keep finding ways to drive the ball into the paint and try to make Reed have to make some decisions. But it
great ball movement, and Carr hits the three. You said it earlier, these threes are coming off great ball movement and they're open shots and good looks.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just about to say it all starts with guarding the three-point shot. You can't overhelp. They got help though in the corner there from the ball side, and they're getting too good of a looks. Wake Forest is too good of a shooting team with the looks they're getting.
James, that's a long two. Mike James, the team's leading scorer in conference games at 16.5.
You look at the points in the paint, Louisville is smashing Wake.
It's almost irrelevant, though.
But it's irrelevant when you're getting up all the threes that they're getting.
Reed out to Sallis. Looked good when he shot it.
If you notice there even on Reed, the direct strike that he threw to Sallis, it wasn't high, it wasn't low. He's able to throw it right into his pocket. The hand activity for Louisville's got to be better to help not allow those shooters to get picture-perfect opportunities of looks at the three.
Yeah, there's a reason Wake leads the ACC in scoring. A lot of weapons on the floor. It's one of the best offensive teams, frankly, in the country. Carr using the height advantage on James, and Mike James picks up his first.
That's the danger part with Wake, is because of their shooting on the floor, and here's Carr getting into the block. You've got to stay at home everywhere else, and then you're just on a one-on-one coverage, and he gets to the free throw line.
As a coach, that's got to be a catch-22. Do you help out when they go inside, risking the ball reversal in the open three, or are you content to let some mismatches play out down low?
Well, what's going to be interesting is as Monsanto plays a little more, and if they can get Fredrickson to even continue to grow in his game, and they move Carr, as we have talked about, to the 5, you literally now have 5 shooters, because right now the only one on the floor that can't shoot for Wake from the three-point line is Reed. You eventually move Carr to the 5 and you put another shooter. You literally have 5 high-level shooters at every position.
James too strong on a pull-up, and then it gives guys like Boopy Miller and Sallis room to operate inside. Extra pass, Miller, baseline, head fake, traveled.
The only thing is when you do go to the 5 out, if you do decide as Monsanto,
still got to play defense.
I was going to say Reed, the one thing with having Reed not on the floor defensively, he's such a presence in the paint there with his shot blocking. So that is a little bit of a give and take on that.
James for 3. Louisville still without a three-point basket, now 0 for 4. Reed to a cutting Carr, big to big.
Outstanding offensive execution. Cutting is such a skill and an art that's sometimes lost. Great speed on the cut by Carr and fine by Reed.
Huntley Hatfield over Reed at the other end.
And that's what they've got to live in the paint. If they're going to have any chance to crawl into this game back, besides taking out the 3 defensively, they've got to live in the paint offensively.
No whistle. Zan Payne wanted the foul, and it's too easy for Efton Reed. And Wake Forest's lead is 17, its largest of the game. Clark the pull-up. Rebound Hildreth, and you feel this might get away if Louisville doesn't make a few stops. Hildreth twisting and pretzeling inside. 2 shots coming.
Transition defense, you've got to get back and guard these type of weapons. You've got to build a wall early.
At Domino's, we know life doesn't always go as planned, which is why we're giving you a free pizza.
Enjoy.
Thanks. An emergency pizza to use when you need it most. Here you go.
Thank you.
No matter the reason, Domino's has you covered.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Get your emergency pizza to use in the future when you order Domino's online.
With Verizon Business Unlimited, I get 5G, truly unlimited data, and unlimited hotspot data. So no matter what, I'm running this kitchen.
Make the switch. It's your business. It's your Verizon.
The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Clark, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty.
Amor magic. Some brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this.
Watch me. Do this.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
First response early result tells you 6 days before your missed period.
Now you live a life where fresh milk is always on hand. DoorDash.
Just one Aleve. 12 hours of uninterrupted arthritis pain relief. Aleve.
I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am.
Louisville fans might have a rooting interest in this one. Lamar Jackson, look at his Heisman numbers in 2017 at Louisville. Look what he's done this season with the Ravens. He already has one MVP on his trophy shelf and a good chance to add number 2 after this season.
What's amazing, I wonder where he was like ranked coming out of high school. I mean, here's a guy, if he wins another MVP, I mean, he's probably going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, to think about it, like, I wonder, does anyone, do they see that coming out of high school? Was he highly ranked, recruited? I know he won the Heisman, but he wasn't, I don't think he was recruited by all the so-called blue bloods of football, you know?
Well, leading up to the NFL draft, there were teams that asked him if he would be willing to change positions, which is wild.
It's incredible.
I mean, there were NFL teams who didn't think he could stick at quarterback.
NFL, NBA, hockey, Major League Baseball, they spend millions on drafting and trying to get it right, and they still get it wrong. That's why in college basketball, you still get it wrong at times because you're hoping on a four or five phone calls and seeing a kid once or twice and you're going to be right.
Tre White, and that is Louisville's first 3 of the game. Again, for the Cardinals, they have not been able to cut into this deficit. Wake Forest's lead still 15. Hildreth throws that to the bench.
In order for Louisville to, look, there's no 15-point shot. So in order for Louisville to get back within striking distance, they're going to need to make a couple threes. But they're going to really, the biggest thing is they've got to get stops on the other side of the ball. And that helps right there. Again, that's another unforced turnover by Wake. And that drives Coach Forbes up the wall. You can see them going right back inside to Huntley Hatfield, right into the paint.
Carr, he's been so good off the shot fake, leans in, and Andrew Carr's got 15 to lead the Deacs.
He's picking up where he left off for NC State. And I mean, again, the speed and transition to get his feet set, to show the shot fake, that isn't easy. And then the drive down, gets the guy fly by him, gets his feet set, and gets the basket.
How about the flyby by Clark, everything but the bucket.
Reed's presence, even though he didn't block it, his presence affected his shot at the rim. That's why it's the, do you have him out for defense, offense? That's the issue.
James the steal. Williams the trailer. James does it himself. Well, that's why when you look at the net rankings and you look at Wake Forest's place right now in the NCAA tournament picture, Joe Lunardi has Wake as the last four in. You're telling me this team potentially going to Dayton, anybody wants to play them in the round of 64, the round of 32? The reality is Carr knocks down another three. This is a different team since Efton Reed was eligible. They're, what, 9-2? They're arguably the third best team in the ACC, yet net rankings don't take that into account.
No, but that's why they're going to say, well, the committee of the human beings in the committee, yeah, it might not show up in the computer rankings, but that's where the committee of humans, there you go, James with the travel, shuffled his feet there. That's where they've got to recognize that and say, okay, they're a different team with Reed. Now look, you look at it where Lunardi has them last four in. I mean, their margin of error and margin of right now is 0. Because even a win like today, it might move them up a little bit based on.
Might even move you down.
It could move you down because it's a quad 4 game. Now, margin of victory could come into play. But you look at next week, they're at UNC and at Pitt. 2 road opportunities. They need to try to get a split next week if they want to move up in Lunardi rankings and try to give them a little bit of a breathing room.
Yeah, the only teams right now in the ACC that look like anything close to locks are North Carolina and Duke. And what you're essentially telling the rest of the league, if you go off these net rankings, which again can be gained if you schedule patsies at home and beat them up by 40, 50 points, because margin of victory does matter. And leagues and teams have done that. You're essentially telling the rest of the ACC, hey, your path in is don't lose to anybody except Duke or Carolina. And this league is too good for that to be the point of entry.
Well, look, I think, and Lunardi hasn't been in there. I think, you know, Clemson's really good. I'm here watching Wake. I think they're a really good basketball team. Look, I know Virginia has some ups and downs. Miami's still talented. Like, ACC still has the opportunity to get a bunch of teams in. It's just, I'm hoping the people that are watching the ACC understand basketball. This is a really good basketball league that's got a lot of offensive firepower. These teams can really score up and down this conference.
Yeah, I go back to the tournament last year, Miami against Houston, and I don't know how many people gave Miami a chance. Houston, everybody talked about their defense. That game wasn't close.
Well, and again, you know, not only are these teams, they got individual talent, but the ability to score and the speed. And that's why you look in the past, the success that the ACC has had in the NCAA tournament has been as good as, if not the best, of any league right now in the country. In a historical matter over the last couple of years.
You call games around the country in a lot of different leagues. It's very easy to make the case. Offensively, there may not be a better league in the country right now than the ACC.
Well, you know, look, there's a lot of speed and quickness and athleticism, but also a lot of ability to shoot and score in this league. And the spacing in this league makes it very NBA-ish, if that makes sense. Just on the nice basket there by James. And you see him getting to the paint. They've got to live in the paint. But again, it's a very NBA-ish league in the sense that there's a lot of potential pros in the league, but also the way the styles of the league, of the type of the teams that play up and down, and a lot of
Monsanto. 13 threes for Wake, a season high. First game back, and Damari Monsanto's chipped in with 2 triples.
Here's my question for you: Are we getting the? Is Wake going to get to 20 today? Are they going to get to 20 made threes? What do you say?
13 out of 23. I'm going to say no. 20 is a high mark, especially with the margin at 21. They're going to foul on Glenn. Will step aside. The Deeks putting on a shooting clinic. 59% from the field, 57% from 3. They've hit 13 from downtown.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes. 3 of the last 8 NCAA championships. 99 NCAA tournament wins since 2015. 8 NCAA titles in the last 22 years. 6 of the top 30 winningest programs in Division I, most of any conference. It's not bragging if it's true. Greatness is what we do. The ACC accomplished greatness.
Drive. It's what propels the champions, the comeback kids, the underdogs. It means constantly improving, striving, hungering. It's no excuses, no days off, or no glory. It's drive.
Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Satisfying and fresh, so creamy and delish. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. So tasty, so pure. Can I have a little more? Only Daisy Cottage cheese.
Some people are born to hustle. They just know their way around a good deal. That's why we hired them all. At Marshall's, our buyers hustle every day for the brands you love. They can tell the quality to cost ratio simply by touch and know what makes bone china different from porcelain. Impressive. But most importantly, they know that that bag is amazing, so we'll take them all for the right price. We get the deals, you get the good stuff. Marshall's.
I was blown away that there was a school for non-traditional students at an Ivy League university.
Go to WannaHammerFlowers.com
And celebrate the people you love.
Wow.
Wow. Happy holidays.
You're ready for a comeback. It's not just a job, it's transferable college credit. And
Hey, Kevin. Good luck.
And nothing can stop you. Not even this tiny break room. Start your comeback at Purdue's online university for working adults. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
Toxic therapy from your vape.
Nobody's texting back.
Let's jump to conclusions.
They're all hanging out?
Mm-hmm.
Without me?
Exactly. Stay with that.
Vaping nicotine can intensify feelings of anxiety. Find solutions at thetruth.com.
Stitch Fix. My stylist curates unique personal looks that are just for me. Kinda nice, I like that.
Give them your size, your style, and your budget. I keep what I like and send back the rest.
What can I say? My stylist gets me.
They get me, and they'll get you too.
That's self-sufficient, heart of the empire, yes.
We got the whole squad with us.
What makes the SEC so fun? It's we only growing stronger, reaching higher, yes. Queens, we self-empowered, focused.
That was spectacular.
This is college game day. Let's go.
Defending champion LSU, the #1 team in the country, Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks. That should be a fun one.
2 incredible coaches, multiple national championships. And I'm telling you, both those coaches could coach on, it doesn't just have to be women's basketball. They can coach in the men's game if somebody gave them an opportunity. There's no doubt about it.
Wake Forest, one of Joe Lunardi's last 4 in with a 21-point lead. Wild shot by James, who's slow to get up in the finish on the putback by Glenn. There's Damari Monsanto, open 3. The guy doesn't play a game in 11 months. Comes off the bench, and he's 3 for 3 from downtown. His addition gives Wake and Steve Forbes another chess piece, and we're not talking about a pawn here.
No, he's the way he shoots, and just again the gravity that he puts on the floor because of his ability to shoot it. But here's the other thing, just the energy in the building. Wake's energy today on this noon game, you can just see it from warm-ups They were locked in from the first three that they made to start the game. It's just spiraled upward for them all game long.
Yeah, the announcement came yesterday. Monsanto cleared to play. So was João Atuka, the Marist transfer, who's hardly played in 2 seasons with Wake due to knee injuries. Atuka's a guy you might see today as well. Steve Forbes says he can give you some pretty good on-the-ball defense. Sallis left it a little short.
Thought he got hit.
22-point lead.
Thought he got hit right there. Lucky he didn't get a foul.
Curtis Williams, the 3, no good.
If I'm Coach Forbes and Wake, like, you're up 22, don't play the scoreboard. We've got to continue to play the right way, play hard, do things we need to do sound defensively and offensively. Don't play the scoreboard. You want to make sure you finish the game the right way.
And we'll get a foul. It's going to be on Glenn. That's 3.
You can see just there the nice follow back up on the dunk there on the second chance. No one got a hit on Miller, and it came untouched there for the dunk. But that's the way Louisville is going to have to just, again, they're little past danger zone right now, but just to kind of continue to keep it, creep it back in, to keep it within respectable range.
Sallis, a near turnover. It's another 3. 15 made threes by Wake.
You didn't think they're going to get the 20. I'm telling you, they might get the 20.
That was a significant over-under that you set 20. I'm still going to hedge.
But you see there, the loose ball, the ball got kind of knocked around, and then it finds Sallis right into his shooting pocket. That's when you know things are going well for you.
15 of 25 from 3. That's absurd. And, you know, you look at Louisville, they're shooting 48% from the field. They're not playing bad offensively.
I think Louisville's playing well. They're doing a nice job. They're one of their better games right now is in terms of just, they've been sound in a lot of areas. They're scoring in the paint.
Defensively, they've had no answer.
It's just defensively has been guarding the 3 has been the issue. They just have not guarded the 3, and they've gotten great looks, Wake, all afternoon long. That's been the biggest issue, and Wake, to their credit, has made the shots.
Monsanto will try it again. Are you kidding me? 4 for 4 from downtown. First game back from a torn left patella tendon suffered last February against NC State.
You can see him calling, Monsanto needs a sub. Yeah, he's got to get his game cardio back up, but he's calling for a sub. Forbes wants to leave him in, say, man, keep shooting the way you're shooting, but he's got Hildreth coming in for Monsanto's.
Keller picked up the foul, and 2 shots coming for the freshman Curtis Williams, averaging better than 10 a game in conference. UFC 297 tonight from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. The main event, the middleweight title fight. It's Sean Strickland, the champ, and a rising star, Dricus du Plessis. Main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. I mean, Josh, come on. The guy hasn't played in a game in 11 months. Comes off the bench. 4 for 4 from 3.
Sports. It's why you play the game. It's a funny game. Basketball's a funny game. You just don't know. It's so much about the feel, the flow. I use the word energy. You can see Louisville kind of in a 1-3-1 zone now, just trying to change the pace or something to stop letting them get open threes.
Monsanto camped in the corner. Catch, release, and he finally misses. The entire crowd was ready to erupt if he made that one.
Against the 1-3-1, those slots and corners are open to give you a chance to get open threes.
Danilo Jovanovic down low for Miami. He'd been starting, or Louisville, he'd been starting for a couple of games. He's a Miami transfer. Miller to Keller, that's too easy.
Louisville's in the extension of the 1-3-1. They get spread out. And then you can see right here on Monsanto, I mean, this is just unbelievable. Hasn't played in basically a year. Hey, the guy's right there, hands are right there. Hits it. That's basketball.
This new year, make a resolution to save at Toyota of Rock Hill. Resolve to take advantage of Toyota of Rock Hill's Real Zero Deal.
0 down, 0 payments for 3 months, and 0 cost maintenance. All backed by our rock-solid guarantee. And we honor all dealers' ads.
This year, make a New Year's resolution you'll want to keep. Save with the Real Zero Deal at Toyota of Rock Hill, located minutes from Uptown at exit 79.
Who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
The Australian Open hits different on the networks of ESPN.
Hockey stars will shine brightest in Toronto.
The 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend, February 2nd and 3rd on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN+.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes.
What a catch! Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college.
Wake 7.5 minutes from going to 11-0 at the Joel this season. It's been on the road in conference where it seems the defense has not traveled.
Well, look, to get to the tournament, you've got to win road games. And you can see right here the opponent's points per game at home. They're only getting about 64, but on the road, they're giving up 82. So you've got to guard better on the road. That is a big deal because, again, as we show that Lenardi, who's in for Wake, they've got to make sure as they move forward in the league play, winning games on the road because they do such a good job of taking care at home. They got a great crowd, great atmosphere. And this week, and I mentioned it earlier, at North Carolina, quick turnaround on Monday, and then at Pitt, they need to get at least a split this week. If I'm Coach Forbes, I'm like, save some threes for Monday night. We're going to need them. I think we got this game in the bag right now, but
I could see the coach and okay. 16 threes so far, 3 off a single game school record. Holds them for Chapel Hill and Big Monday.
PenguinCustoms.net.
What?
Glad I get credit card fraud alerts from Navy Federal Credit Union. Yeah. Can't imagine where I'd be without them.
Hey, that's mine.
Stop that penguin!
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Okay. One dad. Just go into the house. One mom. 3 kids. 1 pack of Ben's original jasmine rice. 1 pinch of chaos. We're all original recipes.
Some people are born to hustle. They just know their way around a good deal. That's why we hired them all. At Marshalls, our buyers hustle every day for the brands you love. They can tell the quality to cost ratio simply by touch and know what makes bone china different from porcelain. Impressive. But most importantly, they know that that bag is amazing, so we'll take them all for the right price. We get the deals, you get the good stuff. Marshalls.
NBA Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them. Slam!
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open. Woo!
NBA Wednesday on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes.
What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be touchdown.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
Monsanto, who hasn't literally played in a year in game action, almost a year, in 8 minutes has hit 4 threes. You can see these threes he's hitting all over, and it gives an added big-time dimension for Wake Forest. Here, just a hand in his face and just makes it. This type of addition at this part of the season is a huge advance. When I talk about huge, capital H-U-G-E, 7 exclamation points to be able to get a shooter like that at this point of the year.
There's an old saying, the fox has many tricks, the hedgehog one good one. Monsanto's got one good one, and boy, it can play. If he can just come off the bench, be a 15-minute guy the rest of the way, and knock down threes, it gives Steve Forbes another element and another scoring option.
Yeah, it just opens everything up. The spacing on the floor, it just is a big difference. And you can see right there, Wake Forest actually is going 5 out with 5 shooters on the floor. They end up turning it over, which allowed Louisville to get the break there. But again, you can see they're looking at the 5-out situation right now to have 5 perimeter players. Coach Forbes is probably thinking, hey, we got to now prepare in a sense for Monday night against Carolina. Let me look at a lineup or two just to see, and in case for Carolina, to have to prepare for something different when Reed's not in the game.
Boopy Miller in the paint, a lot of head fakes, almost a 3-second violation. Well, speaking of Monday, that is the first ESPN Big Monday doubleheader of the season. It's UNC and Wake. It's 7 Eastern. Carolina leading the ACC. Baycott, R.J. Davis, Harrison Ingram has been a really nice addition, as has Cormac Ryan, the glue guy coming over from Notre Dame, and then Kansas at home for Cincinnati.
Well, great opportunity for Wake on Monday night. It's all you can ask for is the opportunity, a quad one opportunity. But they're going to have to be better guarding in the paint, because you know Carolina with Baycott and what they're going to do. And even though this afternoon Louisville's, having their way within the paint as in terms of points in the paint, Wake's not going to be able to rely, I don't think, night in, night out, hitting 16 or plus threes game in, game out. And let me just say this on Boopy Miller. You saw that up and under and the constant fakes. They do such a good job, Wake, at teaching that. They did that with Appleby as well, too, of getting to the paint, shot fake, pivot fake, getting you in the air. They do a good job of teaching and developing in those type of areas in the boxes and the paints with those guards.
Miller had 21 on Tuesday. Carr had 28 in that game, a loss to NC State with some questionable officiating at the end.
You see their 5 out. but they're putting Carr in the block now, and they're going to Carr. He's more comfortable, Carr, facing up on the three-point line than he is maybe with his back to the basket. So I think they're going to try to see, can they get him more comfortable a little bit with the basket, with his back to the basket, so they can use that 5-out lineup with the 5 shooters on the floor.
Off the turnover, Williams off the Tyler Johnson feed, and he hits the 3.
You know, since they're, look, just by human nature, they have the lead. They're probably playing the scoreboard a little bit. And here's the other thing. Because of the 5-out, Reed's not in there. They maybe haven't been as rhythm and in sync. And you can see Reed coming back in. They've had some turnovers when they've gone at a smaller, in a sense, or Carr at the 5. They haven't been as effective and or as rhythm-based with Carr at the 5 for this game.
Jovanovic, it's not there. And remember, early in the season, before Reed was a part of the equation, at least on the floor, you saw a lot of the 5-out offense.
But they've been way more effective with Reed in. So that's the case for having Reed in the game.
Keller getting some minutes today, can't finish.
And Louisville's going to they just want to continue to find a way to score here, to keep chipping into the best that they can. Look, that was a good shot. They had a good baseline drift pass there. One more, got an open 3. The key now is going to be transition defense.
Miller out to Hildreth, the extra pass. And that one does not go for Carr. Offensive rebound, Keller. Hildreth this time will fire. Too strong.
You see they've got Miller in the post playing post defense, and he's doing a nice job fronting. He's giving up a lot of size. Carr came out there on the high-low by Glenn. Carr did not have his hands up on Glenn, allowed him a direct line pass on the strike.
And one opportunity for Danilo Jovanovic on the other side. 82-60, Wake on top of Louisville.
NBA Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them.
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open.
NBA Wednesday on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
On it.
Watch me, do this. Get a witness.
The competition's never been better.
Have you never let a woman do that?
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. Amor magic.
Some brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me, do this.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN.
This Wednesday, the ACC Huddle crew will reveal the football schedule for fall 2024. They'll break down each team, including new additions Cal, Stanford, and SMU. 2-hour special starts at 5 Eastern on ACCN, also on ESPN2.
Does football ever stop? I mean, it's
no. The answer is no. You're always recruiting. You're always getting ready for spring ball.
I know basketball never stops, but as in terms of the intensity and
the media coverage
and the interest is 365 24/7 for football. There's nothing like it.
Got spring football coming up with the Pro League, USFL, XFL merger.
So look, right here you are, 3:30 to go. Wake's winning the game. Louisville's not coming back. Wake's winning the game. The key on Coach Forbes, you want to finish the right way, play the right way. You want to have a good feeling going into the game Monday versus Carolina that you finished the game the right way. You played it for the most part really good.
Monsanto hit his first 4 from 3, follows his miss. Sallis drops it off to Reed. Unselfish basketball. You could set that to Mozart.
It was really good basketball, and the offensive rebound to get the second chance there for Monsanto to be able to do that. And then they didn't just settle on the 3. They had Louisville closed out hard. They attacked, overhelped by Louisville on the drive, kicked to Reed for an easy bucket.
Louisville's got Hersey Miller, that's Master P's son, and Zan Payne, head coach Kenny Payne's son in the game, is Glenn. Knocks it in from down low.
And to Louisville's credit, look, it's 19, the lead's 19, and people might say, well, it's still a lot, but they didn't let it just spiral to get into the 30s. They've kind of hung around within the, and it's not a moral victory or anything, but it's enough for Kenny Payne to talk about, okay, we've had some stretches, and we're still playing hard, we're getting after, we're competing. There's some things that we're doing that I still like, that we've got to clean up on our three-point defense.
Now, Kenny Payne's team has Duke coming up on Tuesday. Wake Forest with that big Monday game at UNC. They'll make the short trek to Chapel Hill, and Louisville's upcoming schedule daunting. You get Virginia at Clemson. Reed knocks it down, and that is three-point shot number 17 for Wake Forest. That is the most threes made by an ACC team this season. And when Efton Reed is knocking it down, he can't knock it down. Only his 4th 3 of the season. You know it's that kind of day.
When he does that, Monsanto, who hasn't played in basically a year, is hitting these 4 threes. You're Kenny Payne, you're like, time to go home. It just is what it is. That's just the bottom line how you can look at it.
That's when you smash the face shield?
Yeah, that's when you smash the face shield. You kick the scores table, and you say, guys, let's just head on home and get a good meal and be ready to go.
But you don't follow the referees out.
No, I did that last year. I did not like a call by them at the end of the game. If they had called the right call, I would still be coaching. I wouldn't be sitting here next to you.
Oh, Evan, we've enjoyed having you. There's Poopy Miller, the up and under. School record for threes in a game for Wake, by the way, is 19. They're at 17 with a minute to go. They got to 19 back in 2002 against Clemson on the road.
I said I thought they were going to get to 20, and they've had good looks. They missed them. I just think that they played the scoreboard. Maybe their arm got tired.
This is Sallis. That's 18. It's just been an incredible display of three-point shooting all afternoon.
Three-point shooting covers a lot of sins in basketball.
Sure does.
When you can shoot the ball like this.
18 out of 34. Hersey Miller from long range. And it looks like Steve Forbes. Did he call a timeout?
Get a quick.
He did. They're going to bring on the walk-on brigade. The Human Victory cigars here at the Joel.
Yeah, and look, these are the feel-good type for everyone to get an opportunity to get in. And you can look at Wake's schedule here coming up. Like this, and I've said it numerous times today, this next week at North Carolina on Monday, then at Pitt. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for Wake because it's a road game. Then you're coming back home, Syracuse, at Georgia Tech, who's been a really tough out. Damon Stoudemire's done a great job there. And then you got NC State, who they just had a loss to. So you look at this stretch here, a lot will be kind of the telling of the tale for for Wake as we move forward in these next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, they came into this game, again, as one of Joe Lunardi's last 4 in, and right now the projected field for Joe only includes 4 ACC teams and 1, again, at the very bottom there with Wake. Percy Miller trying to split the D. How about the block from the backside? Kevin Dunn lets it go at the horn. That would have been 19. And Wake Forest cruises to a 90-65 win. Best scoring offense